Ladies and gentlemen, the most overhyped squad in world football just lost to Senegal in a friendly. If I had a nickel for every time the English media overhyped their squad, I would have enough money to end world hunger. Matter of fact, I would have enough money to buy 7 Anthony's. Who wouldn't want 7 Blade Blades? After hiring Thomas Tuchel to lead the national team, everybody called it a brave move and a smart move. Well, everybody except Brexit FC, who had a heart attack when they found out a German man was coaching the England team. I'm sure a lot of English bobs that they had to march down to the nearest pub to show their anger. But everybody with actual brain cells all agreed that this was a bold move that England needed, and so far it's been a disaster. Tuchel right now can't seem to get his squad firing. Sure, they beat Latvia, Andorra and Albania, but those are countries England should be beating with one leg. And even in those wins, England didn't even look that good. They looked slow, lethargic, disconnected. Against Andorra, they were so poor that Tuchel came out after the match and called out his players even after they won. That tells you everything you need to know. And yesterday, they just lost to Senegal. That's how ass they are right now. So what's the problem? Because we are literally 1 year away from the World Cup. The FA pulled out all the stops to bring in Tuchel, hoping he's the final piece. But so far, it's been looking bad. And what reason number one is that everyone overhyped the hell out of this squad. There are 3 things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and the English media overglazing the hell out of their squad. You know what, let's be real here. Let's compare the English squad to the French squad. Who's better? The French. Let's compare the Portuguese to the English. Who's better? The Portuguese. The Argentinian to the English. The Argentinian. You know what? Let's even do this. Matter of fact, let's compare the 2022 English squad to this current dogshit squad that has Kyle Walker playing instead of picking up pensions. Who's better? I'll tell you who's better. The 2022 one. That was England's best shot to win the World Cup. That English squad in 2022, that was prime England. That was golden era England. Saka was in form. Rashford was in form. Kyle Walker had something in his fuel. Everybody was good except Pep Guardiola's little bitch. Everybody was playing out of their minds. Harry Maguire actually looked good that World Cup. That was the time to win the World Cup. But of course, they couldn't win the World Cup because they had Gareth Southgate managing them, aka a proud member of the Power of Friendship group. If the FA had just taken the risk and sacked him before the tournament started like everybody hoped, if they sacked him before the World Cup and actually hired a real manager like Thomas Tuchel, that England squad would have made it to the final. That England squad would have beat France. Now, the reason why they didn't beat France was because Harry Kane and clutch moments, you know what that happens. It's oil on water. But if they had a real team, if they had a real manager, that squad would have beat France, and that squad would have beaten Morocco. Let's be real. Morocco had a legacy run, okay? That legacy run was due, okay? It was coming to an end. That semi-final was, that was the end. So England was going to beat Morocco, and in the final against Argentina, you never know what's going to happen with an actual manager. In my opinion, the best chance they had to win the World Cup was in 2022. This group of players they have right now, this shit ain't winning the World Cup. I mean, look at this team. Are we dead ass? This team gonna win the World Cup? Look at England's starting 11. Look at England's starting 11 against Senegal. Now, I know it's a friendly, but these guys are important players. These guys are gonna play actual minutes in the World Cup. I swear to God, if I see Cowell and Chalobah in a World Cup for England, let's forget about football, England. Let's go back to cricket. I'm actually serious. Let's go back to cricket. Just cancel football and let's go back to cricket. With this squad, there is no spark. There is no fear factor. Ain't nobody gonna be scared of this squad at the World Cup. And it's not even these players who are bad individually. The whole team just looks off. I'm sorry, that defense in 2026 is gonna be something disgusting. Something out of a horror movie. England, let's just start over 2030. Let's just forget about the 2026 World Cup because nothing is gonna happen with this squad. Another big problem that England have is that they don't have an identity. To show you an example, let's look at Italy. Sure, they're bad right now, and sure, they have a trash-ass squad, but their real issue is their outdated 1935 football culture. They still think defending like it's in the 90s is the key to success. And England is suffering from a similar disease. At least Italy have an identity, a trash-ass one. But England, they don't have an identity at all. No clear style, no rhythm, nothing. Every tournament, England changed their identity mid-tournament. One game they playing back 4, one game back 5, one game they're pressing, one game they're not pressing. Every tournament, they have to change their whole identity mid-tournament. There's a difference between in-game adjustments and changing the whole goddamn identity of the team. France, their identity is black power. Pace, power, depth. Spain's identity, tiki-taka ball movement. Argentina's identity, rough, rugged, a little bit of racism. But what is England? England don't have an identity. They're stuck in this weird middle ground with no system, no identity. Under Gareth Southgate, their main identity was the power of friendship. And to be fair to Gareth Southgate, he got them to where his powers could take him. Tactically, this man was inept, but the power of friendship took him to the semi-finals, to the finals of the Euros. If Gareth Southgate had a little tactical brain, this man would have won at least one major trophy. But now we're stuck in a limbo. Thomas Tuchel's here. Tactically, this man is amazing. But identity-wise, will Thomas Tuchel put in an identity that's strong enough for the English squad to prosper? And to be fair to you, I don't think so. And in international football, identity matters more than tactics, because you're barely with your players to introduce tactics. What kind of tactic are you going to introduce in 2 weeks? There is no tactics. Didier Deschamps, he is one of the worst tactical managers to ever touch the sidelines, but he knows what his team is. He understands, hey, I have a bunch of black players, so we're going to run and we're going to outpace people. The Argentinian manager, he doesn't set up his team to play out from the back, 1-2, no. Rough, rugged. They know what their identity is. England, they don't know what the hell their identity is. Let's be honest, the English FA is all in this 2026 World Cup. It's win or bust. Tuchel knows it, the players know it, the fans definitely know it. The pressure is causing cracks. For some reason, the betting odds show that England are 4th favorites to win the World Cup, in front of Argentina, who just won the World Cup and the Copa America. The English bias is insane here. This team isn't it. This squad doesn't inspire me to think that they're gonna win the World Cup. I don't know what kind of devil magic Thomas Tuchel needs to do before the World Cup, but I'm sure he needs to do something out of the box for them to win the World Cup. I do not believe in them winning the World Cup. I think they're 5th favorites. 5th. I know some of you guys will be watching this video and saying it's against Senegal, it's a friendly, the players are tired. No. This is a symptom. A sign that the cracks are already forming and we're a year out from the World Cup. Anyways, that's all I got. Please like, subscribe, bye.